Yes.
From Ethiopia. Now, I am asking, what is police part of the disciplined forces? Because now I saw a police officer with a placard demonstrating against the government. Who is this government? Is police part of the government? Is there any action taken against police officers who demonstrate against the government? Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take the next one. Just state your name. Elijah, I believe, is next. Elijah? Elijah, go ahead. Elijah, if you can hear us, go ahead with your comment or question. All right. Let's go to Caro as we sort out Elijah's microphone. Caro, good morning. Caroline Mutwiga.
Good morning.
Caroline Twiga, good evening, not morning.
Good evening. Hello?
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yes, please state your name.
It's Caroline. I'm using Caroline Twiga account.
Okay.
Yeah, my question to Mr. Charles, so the former police spokesman.
Yes.
Is about the abduction of innocent citizens and police brutality.
Yes.
Why are police using excessive force on peaceful demonstrators, and yet they are trained to use minimum force on peaceful protesters who are peaceful?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Kiprop. Kiprop, go ahead with the question or comment. Then Charles will answer those four, then we'll come back for the next round. Kiprop. Okay. If we can't get Kiprop, so let's go to Granary.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
My question was to Mr. Winham.
Yes.
Now that the office of the Inspector General is empty, and it's qualified, are we expecting him to be in the list of the contestants?
Okay. All right, let's answer those four questions first. Then we'll come back for the next round of questions. Yes, let's start with the Rono. How come a month down the line, there's no action that has been taken against police officers' excesses?
Thank you. Rono has talked of the role of IPOA.
Thank you very much, Ndumo. My name is Elijah. And my question to Mr. Owino is
police excesses, if any.
Why is it Kenyan police, they cannot respect a peaceful demonstration? Why is it that every time that they have to disperse people, they have to use water cannon, they have to use tear gas, they have to use live bullet when it's unnecessary? And yet, the picketing is actually entrenched in our constitution. And I'm asking this because actually tomorrow, I will be out there, demonstrating. So I'm expecting them actually to respect our rights and not to use excessive force. It's a way of managing us. So I want to ask, are they not trained in a way that
used? Then you know very well that the bullet,
and not use excessive, force.
Then
thank you very much.
There must be a post-mortem taken. You may be able to recover a bullet head or whatever it is, and then you have to pick firearms from a number of people and take an analysis on the bullet and tend to get to know who actually fired.
In your structures, is there a system where the command knows who was where at what point? Because if a protester was killed within parliament precincts, don't the police know who was there at that time? So
yeah, ordinarily
were there so that the forensic is done really quick.
Ordinarily, in a proper organization, the police officers are organized in platoons. One platoon has 32 officers, and only 4 are armed. Out of the 32, about 16 of them have just batons, and there are also other 4 with gas gunners. So it is very easy when you have a specific platoon in a particular area to determine which firearm could have been used.
So IPOA is lacking on the job then?
No, they are not.
Then they just need to pick the 4 of the platoons that are armed.
It takes a bit of time, because sometimes you find that because of the pressure of work, platoons which were placed in various sections ended up coming together, even 5 or 6 of them at the same time. Yes. So investigations, proper investigations take time.
Okay.
What is most important is at the end of the day, you get the right person.
Okay.
Yes.
Comey also asked a question saying that a police part of the disciplined forces and other part of government. Therefore, is there any action being taken against a police officer who protests against the same government? Because we did see a reason why there action being taken against it.
The Police Act is very clear. Police officers are not allowed to participate at all. You are not even supposed to be a member of these unions that demand. That is why you will never hear, even when police officers feel that they are not properly paid, you will never hear them go to the street or complain about their welfare or about. So you cannot, as a police officer, you are not authorized to participate in any demonstration.
Doesn't that curtail on their rights?
Remember that police officers have specific roles to play, and this is part of your training, and these are part of the items that you sign when you become a police officer, that I'll not do this, I'll not do that. So there are limits to rights.
Okay. Yes. There's one who was using Christine Twiga's account and asked about abductions of innocent citizens and why the police are using excessive force on peaceful protesters.
When you talk about excessive force, it depends on the amount of force that is exerted on you. For example, if we are 2 officers and you are coming 50 of you, and we are just 2, remember I told you that case of Bondo, where an officer was alone, he was hit to the ground. So if there would have been another officer close, he could easily even have shot somebody in order to rescue his colleague. Okay. So force depends on the force that is exerted on you.
But we did see some being shot from the back. Rex Masai was shot while he was running away.
Yes, we have to agree that, you know, we don't need to be overzealous. We need to accept that in such demonstrations or such cases, you've seen where cars were burning, business premises were burning. We have cases of stray bullets, we must admit. It's only that the person who does that is well trained, and many a times you find that if it is zeroed on you, then you take responsibility.
Just stray bullets or irresponsible police officer?
No.
Because we've seen young children being shot 12 times. What happened in Kajiado?
Trevor, without police, you cannot walk home.
True, but aren't there some police
So what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, I'm not here to defend anyone. What I'm saying, we are a country.
Yeah.
We must exercise discipline on both sides. The police can be wrong, and that is why we have authorities that take action against them when they are wrong. But equally, let us not be overzealous to an extent that we want to make police useless. How will you be defended? Who will protect your country? Who will protect your property if there's no fear that police can use bullets? I want to be fair to all of us that if today you are walking home and you are attacked by robbers, it's the police to support you. And even in demonstrations, Trevor, in the 2 weeks, we lost 70 billion in trade. NSC, in NSC, we lost about 65 billion. And the traders lost about 5 billion. And yet, these young people, we are looking to grow the economy and get jobs for everybody. So what you're saying, yes, if you are agitated and you feel you must demonstrate, do it. But please, don't destroy property. Don't destroy our country.
Okay.
Let us agree on that. And therefore I'm saying, as much as we want to accuse police, yes, they're part of society. But when a policeman does a wrong thing, let action be taken against him. But let us not put more effort on police. And we are looking at the bigger picture of destruction of properties by individuals.
All right.
Let's have that discipline. And let us have fear as a country that police can use his fire. Let us not lie. Yes, let us not lie. Yes, there are justifiable circumstances. when police can use lethal force. So let's not lie to our people. Let us be honest to people, especially the younger people. Let us tell them here, police can use, they are authorized to use lethal force, and in this circumstance, they are not authorized to use lethal force. Like now, I know tomorrow there may be, people have been saying they will go for mandamano. But let's agree, please. Do your mandamano, be peaceful. If we will not allow any policeman to touch you, if you're doing a peaceful protest, but please don't touch somebody's motorbike. Don't burn somebody's car. Don't burn business premises. We are losing a lot, and we need to stabilize.
There are quite a number of them on X space that I need to give some chance to also take the next 4 questions.
No, there was another question
from the granary. Are you in the list of potential Inspector General?
By the way, today is my birthday.
Happy birthday, Jack.
Yes, I was born on 15th July, 54 years ago.
So are you in the list of Inspector?
No, what you must know is that the law changed. The Police Service Commission no longer advertises the position of Inspector General. And I think that is why you saw the 2 positions for the DIGs were advertised. If you read the Constitution properly, it is the head of state to pick on an individual and present him to Parliament for vetting.
So you don't...
If he picks me, I would work for him. If he picks somebody else, would support him. Yes.
Let's go to the next place. There's the questions coming through. Let's take the next 4. Who's next? Kashe. Kashe, good evening. Kashe, go ahead with the question or comment. Okay, we seem to be having challenges there with Kashe. Who's next? Requesting. Yes. Go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, Trevor.
Good evening. How are you?
Very fine. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yes, sir. Yes, go ahead, Kashi. Now with Masharia. Okay.
Yes.
Masharia, go ahead with your question.
Yes. Thank you, Trevor. Trevor.
Yes.
I have a question to Charles Owino.
Yes.
If the police killing our youth on the street, it is taking months. Police are saying that they are going to take like they are supposed to be given 1 month to know which police killed our youth.
Yeah.
And those who are killing, and the police who are killing all the youth who are protesting, they are being abducted at night. All those who are seen in cameras are all in police custody. Yet, the police who killed our youth are not yet been taken to court.
Yeah.
Why is this government protecting the police who are killing our youth, yet they are abducting our youth who are peacefully protesting for our democracy, for our light, when you are looking for jobs?
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Trevor.
Thanks, Masharia. Let's take the next one. Who's on the microphone? Ken Aseka.
Yeah, good evening, Trevor and Charles.
Good evening,
I would like to understand why police officers are always reshuffled and moved immediately they are caught or implicated in a scandal. Isn't it part of a larger scheme within the service to cover up? And a good example is Mukuru Kwanjenga, where after 24 hours of the incident being reported, the acting Inspector General of Police moved all the officers. Are they, quote unquote, the standing orders within the service? Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Who's next on the microphone? Engineer Mwasi. Yes, Engineer.
Yes, my question is, what action is being taken to those people who are infiltrating those peaceful protests?
Action being taken?
To those who are infiltrating the peaceful protests.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dorcas Chepkoech. Dorcas? Dorcas, go ahead with a comment or question. If you can't find Dorcas, let's go to the next microphone. Who's requesting the microphone next? Wesley. Wesley Kibande. Okay, believe we have. Is Dorcas back? Dorcas. Good evening, Dorcas. Go ahead with a comment or question. All right, either Dorcas or Wesley. Okay, as we wait for the fourth one, I want to take them in batches of 4, but let's answer these 3 first as we sort out that issue. Macharia was, if police, how come that investigation for police officers who take part in alleged unlawful events takes long, and yet the youth who are allegedly taking part in the protest are arrested way faster?
You know, when you take part in a protest and your face is caught, there isn't much investigations. You are simply arrested. If you are not that when you take part in a protest, you'll definitely be arrested. But if you committed an offense in the process, if it became riotous, you can be arrested.
But police officers whose faces were there and they were arrested.
But investigations, but police officers were all present to protect these people. I don't know why you want to mix up issues. Let's take the equation as it is.
This was the same question. I was here listening with you.
Yes.
Said that, how come it's easy to arrest the youth? We're talking about the same protest. Let's make that clear.
Yes.
It's the same protest.
You see, the police was not at the point of protest as a protester.
But there are some police officers
just a minute.
Excessive force.
Yes.
In the case of Rex Masai, there's a picture of a police officer that has been published.
If you used excessive force, there is an investigation process, and we have entrusted a civilian oversight. You don't need to throw that question back to the police. There's a civilian oversight doing this called IPOA. You're getting me?
So this is squarely on their doorstep.
Yes, and also, if it is a matter of somebody being shot, there is a process of doing this. You know, when you pick up a case which is half-baked, definitely lose the case. We don't want any police officer who has misbehaved to go scot-free. If you misbehave in the process, then we must deal with you, because these are our children. These children that are protesting are our children. Trevor, some of us have Gen Zs who are even 4, 5. So these are our children. Nobody wants, and there are people, very senior people that found their children protesting. They didn't even know that their children were protesting. They joined the rest because they are adults and they have that opportunity. So nobody would want his child to be shot unnecessarily. But what's happening is that we must follow standard procedures. The only thing that I want to take cognizance of is that there are people who infiltrated into these demonstrations, and these Gen Zs know them. I want to request the Gen Zs that anytime they are involved in process, there are many. These infiltrators, arrest them and hand them over to police so that they don't go stealing, robbing people, burning cars, burning buildings, robbing, and then at the end of the day, a policeman releases his firearm, it ends up shooting a young person. So the police and the young people who are peacefully protesting must work together. The police has a role to protect even the demonstrators, as long as it is peaceful, as long as we are a civilized country. Kenya has gone far. You can't compare us to our neighbors who have been in civil war. And that is why a large number of our population, people are educated. So what I'm saying is that, that the Gen Zs must help the police also, because the police are few. There are many. If you get anybody infiltrating into your protest, get hold of him and hand him over to the police. And even follow up to ensure that he's taken to the police station. Even march him to the police station, so that these robbers who are coming to infiltrate and take advantage, because they want to take advantage, they want to rob people, they want to destroy property. We don't want something like that.
We've seen sometimes those robbers are even armed. So the peaceful protesters may not have the capacity. This was Engineer Mwasi's question on how, with action.
Let me tell you, what is very interesting is that even some of these robbers, when they are armed, if he's shot, the civil society will rush to say that, to condemn the police. So what we are saying is, this is our country. I'm still saying that. This is our country. We cannot push our country to anarchy.
Okay.
We are democratic. We have a vibrant constitution. If you are not satisfied with what any politician is doing, including the head of state, we have just 3 years. Hold your gun, pick your vote, and vote out the person you don't want.
Okay.
But what we are saying is that, yes, that does not mean that you cannot protest.
Yeah.
But be peaceful.
Okay.
Be unarmed. Support the police will support you. Let us be civil.
That answers Engineer Mwasi's question. But yes. Ken Aseka also asked a question saying, why are police officers being reshuffled when they're caught in a scandal? Isn't that a cover-up?
We have a number of cases where police officers have even been involved in theft. They have never been transferred. They are interdicted in their stations and they are taken to court. I know you're talking about the case of Mukuru.
Yes.
Kwanjenga.
Where the acting IG.
Yes. The reason why he moved them was because this is a big investigation. And the police really wanted to get a quick fix to get to know what really happened. If by bad luck you leave these officers here and one of them or two of them could be complacent in this matter, then it would jeopardize investigations. So it is just fair that they are taken out of the station to enable the investigators undertake independent investigations. Because remember, they are part of the police.
Can they take independent investigations while they're out there? Why don't they be arrested or be told to step aside?
You cannot arrest somebody whom you don't have evidence that has committed an offense. Remember, this is a quarry. Remember, this is a quarry which is used as a dump site. So what I'm saying is, don't be too harsh to policemen.
These are just questions people are posing to you.
That's what I'm saying.
Even right now, a suspect confessed to killing 42 people. How could that happen next to a police station? And nobody raises
it is possible. Let me tell you, Trevor. There's one thing people don't know. The nature of police work. If you have, let's say, 20 police officers in a police station, in a police station today, and in Opanga, we open a police station today. What will happen? You will need 6 officers for a shift at the report office. Report office, we must have 2 officers. We must have what we call a cell sentry, and we must have a report office. The one who receives reports and the one who takes care of the prisoners in custody. So we must have 6 doing that. The following day, there will be some in crime branch. There will be some who will be going to court to escort prisoners to court. After 1 month, those cases which had gone to court, the files come back for people to be bonded to attend court. Police officers will be out there bonding people to attend court. Equally, these officers who have come to Anding Opanga police station, some of them came from Kilifi, another one came from Kakamega, another one came from Mandera. He had other cases. He will be going to give evidence in those places. I can assure you, in 5 months, if you go to that police station, you may not even find an available police officer because of the nature of the work police officers do.
So is that a system problem or a human resource problem?
You see, you cannot get enough policemen. I can assure you, you cannot get enough. We have to work with what is there. But I wanted to tell you something. What has happened, which has brought this problem of disconnect that we have had. In 1999, before 1999, the Commissioner of Police had 3 arms of police, very strong 3 arms. One was called Special Branch, the intelligence group. Another one was called the CID, the DCI. And then the General Duty Officer called GD, the police station. If you went to a division or a district, which is now called a county. I take, for example, Meru County. If you went to that county, there was an OCPD. This OCPD was at the rank of senior superintendent. There was an intelligence officer at the rank of superintendent or a chief inspector, a rank or 2 ranks below the SSP. Below him, also, there was a DCI officer. So there was a special branch officer, a DCI officer, and an OCPD. Every morning, the OCPD had meeting with the intelligence officer and the DCI officer, who are junior to him, and they would divide duties. This case is complex, take it. This case is this way, take it. It moved up to the provincial level, where the head of the general duty provincial level, what we are calling the PPO, the provincial police officer, was a deputy commissioner of police. The provincial DCI officer or CID officer was a rank lower, a senior assistant commissioner of police. And the NIS officer, the same. If you reached at the police headquarters level, the commissioner of police was the boss.
Okay.
Below him, there was the director of intelligence and the director of DCI, which were ranks below him. And they were working in tandem together. Come 1999, there was demand to have NIS independent. They became independent or moved from the commissioner of police. He had no direct contact with them unless through the director.
So these are command structure.
Just a minute, it's a command structure.
3.5 million thousand people.
Then what happened? I want them, no, it's important for them to understand what I'm talking about. In 2010, when we got the new constitution, we did away with the commissioner of police. Then we created positions of inspector general and then 2 deputies. And then a DCI. During this time, when we created this, the Inspector General's position, role, is purely policy. Policy, creating policy, looking at the welfare of his officers, not operations. Operations is for the DIG, AJAABU Session Police, DIG Kenya Police. Where is the DCI? He's alone somewhere. There is no structure saying that he's under who? Well, he's under, presumably, the Inspector General, but he's not an operations person. If now you go to the police station today at the provincial level, sometimes you find the general duty officer in charge of the province and the DCI officer in charge of the province are the same rank. That is not how Commonwealth operates. We are Commonwealth police. We have developed our structure from Commonwealth. There must be one central command. So some of these things involve policy. So you'll find a situation where you go to Mkuru, you go to the division there, whether it is Kayole or wherever, but you will find the OCPD has no command over the DCI officer. They are not working together. They are not, everybody feels independent. That is not how the disciplined services are supposed to work. So you will find that these cases, like Mkuru, is not a general duty responsibility to collect intelligence. It's not a general duty responsibility to carry out special investigations. They may not have the tools. The DCI has that big role, and the general intelligence has that role. So what I'm saying is that the Constitution 2010 and the disjointment of NIS had some kind of, we got disjointed in terms of command structure, and which has come out of the Commonwealth structure on what was left. Military is intact. Nobody has interfered with it. Nobody has changed it. So what I'm saying is that with time, as time goes, the Inspector General in office or who is going to come will have to look at those command lapses and sit down with the Police Service Commission and look at ways in which, even if institutions are independent, but we come up with standing orders that demand that this institution must work. And equally, there must be one boss at a time. So people cannot be the command structure. We cannot have a regional commander who has same rank with the DCI officer, who has even a lower rank with the NIS officer. There is no way they will be command. Kila mtu anataka kuwa mkubwa. There must be one head. And in the structure of discipline, we say in Swahili, hakuna siku shingo inapita kichwa. Shingo ikipita kichwa, utakuwa umefariki. So the command structure will have to be looked into with the new Inspector General and with the Police Service Commission to ensure that these units work, they coordinate, they work as required, and there is direct command, and we must know who takes responsibility. Today, whatever has happened,
Who should take
the Inspector General has gallantly taken responsibility and has resigned from service because he was the Inspector General. Whether he was wrong or right, he's taken responsibility. So we want a strong command structure so that even officers at the lower level can take responsibility. But otherwise, we need to support the police more on training and on equipment.
All right, there are 3,000 people online. I believe it's about 2.8 now. Let's take some quick final questions here before we get into some sporting action now. Let's see who else has the microphone. Captain Ochenge. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Trevor?
Yes, sir.
I want to ask Charles, sir, how does he feel when he hears the people complaining about these rogue police stations? For instance, like Kasarani, Karen police station, this police station where people have been arrested and there are so many injustices in those police stations. And what measures are the police taking in order to to build trust back to the public? Thank you.
Thank you. Gabu Salim.
Yes, this is my question to Charles Owino.
Yes.
Now, the DCI boss is a presidential appointee. Is it possible for a presidential appointee to investigate its own bosses? That's number one. The second question is, how do we draw the line between actual arrest by the police and illegal criminal abductors? Because the current occurrences that we have seen so far, we cannot actually differentiate between a normal legal arrest and people who are actually criminals who are actually abducting citizens. Thank you.
Let's take two more, then we finish.
Yeah.
Masika.
Thank you. I wanted to ask Mr. Owino, how comes the DCI took only less than 72 hours to get the suspect for killing those in Kware, yet Forex and other who were killed during the demonstrations haven't been, we have none in courts.
Okay.
Thank you.
Otieno Leji. Otieno? Okay, as we're sorting that out, let's go to Roy. Roy Matthew.
Okay, thank you, Trevor. So my first question to Mr. Charles Owino, you see, the police brutality started way back even when he was this police spokesman. And I'm just wondering if even that time when he was this police spokesman, the police brutality was there and he was busy defending the same policeman, currently still defending. And we wonder where he gets the moral authority to do this, because right now he's kind of a politician. Actually, he's in UDA, so he's speaking as if he's defending the same government. So we are wondering again, why is our policemen still using? They're still stuck in 1945. The methodology they used in 1945. What they have changed is either the name, police service, and the uniform, but the behavior is still those old methods. Is it the training that they are getting, or it is the qualifications somebody has before becoming a policeman? So we are just wondering, because if this continues, last time we saw people who are having Marvins and closed faces in a pickup, and they are roaming the streets with big guns. So are they also, the government is deploying rogue police or rogue people in the streets to kill people? So let him just answer from a point of advisory, not defense, because being a defending the police, this is making people to boil even more.
All right. Thanks, Roy. And thank you all for taking part in this conversation on X Space. But let's start by answering Captain Ochenge.
About when?
How do you feel when rogue police officers and people are complaining about their injustices in different police stations? He mentioned, I think, Kasarani also mentioned Karen, and he's saying that how do you then restore the trust there?
Number one, police officers take individual responsibility. They don't take collective responsibility. They are unlike the army, who have to get a central command to take actions. It is said that police officers will always find themselves in situations where they have to act on their own, without opportunity to refer to their bosses or to their books. And that is why you will have to make a decision. Am I justified to use my firearm? If you use it unjustifiably, then you face the full force of the law. And I don't think anybody wants to face the full force of the law that he's charged. So they take individual responsibility. And policemen are trained basically on this. But at times, we have found many cases where police officers have unjustifiably used their firearms or used any form of force or did a wrong thing. And actions are taken. We have very many police officers who have been taken to court. We have a number of officers who have even been jailed. You remember the guys who killed lawyer Kimani in Athi River? They were jailed for those offenses. So what happens is that we have a lot of cases, because remember, policemen, I've always said, policemen don't come from the moon. They are our brothers and sisters. They are human. They can make mistakes. But let us not lump mistakes committed by individuals to give an impression to the whole service.
Okay.
People can talk, but I can tell you, you cannot sleep in your house if there's no police around you.
Okay.
It's impossible.
Gabu Slim asked you, the DCI is a boss, is a presidential appointee. Can he really investigate his boss? And then the next question was, how can you now differentiate between actual arrests and abductions? Let's start with the
So I would want to know, who is his boss?
He's a presidential appointee.
Yes. Well, who is his boss? The DCI is not a presidential appointee. The DCI is appointed by the Police Service Commission. Yes.
Can he investigate the issues that go against the same government?
He has a mandate as a DCI, a role to play to carry out investigations. Let's assume the Inspector General commits an offense. What stops the DCI from investigating him? The DCI investigates ministers and take them to court. It is not about your position. And even the officers who record the statements of a minister, some of them are constables, some of them are corporals. They still record statements from very senior people. They record statements from CEOs. They record statements from managing directors. So it is not about your rank or your office. It is about your mandate.
Okay.
So the DCI can investigate anyone who commits an offense within his jurisdiction and where he has powers to investigate.
The next question from Gabu Slim was, how do you draw the line between an actual arrest and abduction? Because nowadays we see it happening.
You see, an arrest basically is where somebody comes and tells you, I'm so-and-so, I'm a police officer, I've come to arrest you. But when you hear about an abduction, it means there's no identification, somebody is just picked and bundled. Then you can say, but also, it ceases to be an abduction if this person is taken to a police station. Because if you're taken to a police station, you will be booked in the occurrence book. Whatever your mistake you have committed will be stated in the occurrence book. So it will not be an abduction at all, especially if you reach the police station. But if abduction would mean you are picked and you are taken nowhere, you are not taken to a lawful custody, because it is only the police station that is a lawful custody.
Masika said the DCI took less than 72 hours to apprehend the suspected serial killer, but for Rex Masai, none have been taken to court.
Yes, the serial killer, this is a killer that has killed innocent people. And the investigations, the DCI explained, analysis was taken, and it was confirmed that so-and-so transferred money belonging to the deceased at this particular time, around the time we believe the deceased got lost. And then from there, the person is traced, he's arrested, and he confesses to the killings. Now, the question of Masai and the police officers, this is a question, these are controversial questions. People are involved in demonstrations. The question must be, was the police justified to have used his firearm or not? And that is why it goes through an inquiry. And at times, it may even go through an inquest before the court of law.
Okay.
Yes.
Roy said, where do you get the moral authority to defend officers? And are officers using old methods and still their behavior is still the same? Is it an issue of training or what is the problem?
The moral authority that I get is that police officers do not always commit offenses. Police officers have a mandate, a mandate to protect you who is questioning, to protect your property. And therefore, as a country, as a nation, we must protect and defend our police because they also form symbols of national unity and symbol of our security. As we speak today, we have police officers in the borders of Somalia, Uganda, in trenches.
Yeah.
As we speak today, we have our colleagues in Haiti.
Okay.
We have a good police service. But where policemen make a mistake, we have no moral mandate or authority to defend them.
Okay.
My age allows me to defend the security of the country because it is important to us. Without this security, we would not even be in our houses.
Okay.
And many people do not understand the importance of peace until the day they lose it.
All right. Charles Owino, thank you so much for coming in this evening. Charles Owino, former police spokesperson. And thank you all for taking part in this X-Space conversation that we've had here. We'll have this conversation again soon. And I'd still invite you to have this conversation.